Hey folks, Time to Moto Man here, back in the garage. Gonna do another mod on the 2024 Tiger 900 Rally Pro. So this is a follow-up from the tail tidy that I put on. I installed a tail tidy kit on the bike and removed the grab rails altogether. Problem is, it's nice to have grab rails when you want to grab onto something. In order to put on some grab rails that don't interfere with my saddlebags, I've got a little bit of an idea here. I picked up some grab rails from Amazon. They were meant for a Tenere 700. And I'm going to make some brackets out of some spare parts that I have in the garage. Stick around, you'll see what it looks like, and let me know what you think. My original plan was to be able to connect the grab rail to the frame holes, but since that doesn't work, I thought, well, I could make a bracket or fashion something to allow me to make that connection. And then I started looking around the garage to see what I had, and I've got an old pair of Hepco and Becker hand guards from my old Tiger that I took off. I dropped the bike pretty hard at one point and they bent really bad and I couldn't bend them back, but I held on to them anyways. I didn't know what I was going to do with them. I thought, I don't know, maybe I'll hang them in the tree and make wind chimes out of them. But I've got a better use for them now. I started looking at the distance I needed and I thought, man, this piece right here looks really good. So if I can cut that off, that should allow me to make a connection point. And that's just what I did with this one. So I basically made this bracket here. I still need to clean this up a bit, but I screwed a hole in here so that you'll see later I've got an additional point to connect something to, like a bungee or something like that. With this bracket and this grab rail, I can line up the holes just like that. And I've mocked it up. I'll barely clear the exhaust, but that should work. And that's going to be a nice, slim, tidy handrail, grab bar, whatever you want to call it. Now I'm gonna cut this thing off and then I'll clean both pieces up. Put on my safety goggles. How do I look? Looking good. Might flip it over and cut that side again and then start grinding it. I'm gonna clean all this stuff up. This really isn't gonna be very visible, so it doesn't have to be perfect, but I still wanna clean it up a bit. All right, there's both my brackets cleaned up. Like I said, they don't have to be super perfect because they're not really gonna be seen. So I'm just gonna get these things painted and then we'll mount them and show you how everything looks. Also, if you watched my tail tidy video, I was talking about all of the space that's back here. The problem with the phone holder was there was a lip that would block it so that you couldn't put stuff back there. So I decided while I have everything apart, I would remove that lip from the phone holder. And now I'll be able to stick a little bag back there, like a patch kit bag or extra tools, or hide some paraphernalia or something like that. This is the hardware I'm going to be using. I'm going to be using the original bolts that I took out of the frame. These bolts held on the lower fender assembly, and these were for the original grab bars. I did have to cut this bolt to shorten it up a little bit, and you'll see why when I put that together. I've also got washers here for some spacing. This is how I'm going to connect the brackets to the back half of the grab bar. And then once everything's put together, I've got these little rubber plugs. We're going to plug the holes and see how that works. So I've got one started here. I've got a rubber washer and a regular washer. The bracket lines up right in there. And I've got the back of the bolt head here so that you can get to it, because the nut is going to be really close to the frame. The Allen and a 13mm socket. And the OEM bolt. This is really long, but it doesn't bother me. It's not really getting in the way. I'm not going to bother shaving it down. I did have to shave the other side down because of that wiring harness there. So that other one is a little bit shorter. First one is done. That is pretty solid. And I'll do the same thing on the next side. So you can see I've got clearance here. Both of my mounting points here. Again, bungee cord wrapped over, up and around and back. It's just a little something extra. It was part of the bracket, so I figured I'd leave it like that. I do need to slide my tool tube down just a little bit because this gets in the way of the cap. These guys are very solid. Now I can use these to pull the bike around, pull it up if I need to. I think that's going to work out nicely. So there we go. They're much lower than the OEM bars, which come up here. My side bags should flow down nicely. The tail still looks nice and thin. Final thing, put my rubber inserts in. Those feel pretty good in there. I think they're going to stay. Might even be hard to get out. I think it looks good. You guys post in the comments, let me know what you think. Did I just do all this for nothing? I don't know.